Hey, it's Jagger and Christy, and one of the things that family and friends always want to do is go and see the beautiful flowers and all the blooms at the flower fields in Carlsbad.
It's easy to find. Just exit the 5 freeway right off Palomar Airport Road. Follow the signs for the flower fields.
It's a great time of the year to get out there and see some beautiful flowers, and the good thing is there's plenty of free parking.
Tickets are cheap, so bring the family.
So on a recent trip, our producer Sheryl Love caught up with Fred Clark. He's the general manager at the flower fields in Carlsbad to ask him a couple of questions about the history of the flower fields and when's the best time to visit.
So, Fred, tell us, how did this all come to be?
Well, the flower fields have been here for many years. This is about 40 years, actually, that they've been here. But as a tourist attraction, we're in our 25th season.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And how did it start?
Well, the Ecke family, which is kind of the name Ecke synonymous with poinsettias if you're in the horticultural industry, the Eckes used to grow poinsettias, believe it or not, on these fields before poinsettias were potted flowering plants. And when they switched the production to in the greenhouse and started selling the potted plants, the fields came open and a local grower began growing ranunculus here. And it was so beautiful that it just became a natural tourist spot.
Yeah.
And so when he wanted to retire, the Ecke family said, well, no, you can't retire. This is such an important place for everybody. An iconic,
absolutely,
spot.
It is.
Let's preserve it for future generations. And that's an amazing thing to say, future generations.
Right.
And so this land is in a covenant for land use in perpetuity for agricultural.
Oh, in perpetuity.
That's a long
that is a big
time.
word.
And here we are. We have an ocean view over.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And the beautiful hillsides here. This is probably the last open land in Southern California.
Well, and so what's growing here now? It used to be poinsettias, but what do we see here?
Yeah, so these are ranunculus. This is our crop. We're actually agritourism. We are truly a working farm. We'll cut around 7 million stems out of these fields. But there's about 70 million flowers out there.
That's a lot of flowers.
That's a lot of flowers. The florists demand a really long stem and a perfect shaped flower. And the ranunculus only gives up 2 or 3 flowers per plant that are like that. And the rest is what you see here.
And so where do they go from here?
Well, we ship all over the United States. Some go to Canada and a little bit to Mexico as well. We start cutting flowers in early December, and so it's an excellent flower for that early spring. I would go out on a limb and say this is the most photographed spot in Southern California.
I can see that, definitely.
I mean, it is really amazing, and it's transformative. I don't know, you'll see people come in and they're not sure what to expect, and when you see them leave, they've got a huge smile on their face. It's rejuvenated them, it's changed their day.
Yeah.
There's just something about that. I don't think there's any place in the world that gives you color like this.
Yes, and not only the color, but I know I did the wagon ride with my family, and we went all the way around and up there. And the view of the flowers overlooking the water is spectacular.
It's spectacular.
So you do have to do the wagon ride and just go all around, take pictures, walk around, enjoy the scenery, and especially just up on top when you can see the water as well. It's just absolutely beautiful.
And every weekend we have musical events. There's the Sweet Pea Maze. You can go get lost in a Sweet Pea Maze. There's some people have a little trouble getting out of it. So we always have someone posted there so we can help you if you have troubles there.
Wow, people actually do get lost in it.
Yeah, usually you find a kid and you have them lead the way. Yeah. If you really had to say what was the best time to come is pay your taxes and then come to the flower fields.
You hear that?
Right around the middle of April is when it's really at its peak. But we open on March 1st and we stay open till Mother's Day. And so in order to spread out the harvest over the longest period of time, believe it or not, we start planting in September. And our last planting is in the first week of December. And so we plant roughly 7 acres every 3 to 4 weeks. And then that starts at the north end and then comes all the way down here to where we are at the south end. And so you can see the sequential progression of the flowers. But right around that tax day is when everything is in bloom at one time. There goes the wagon ride.
right, well, thank you so much, Fred.
Yeah,
I
it's my
appreciate all
pleasure
the
to have you here.
information.